Hi guys, thanks for joining me for this yoga sizzle video. So this one's about happy and healthy hips. Often we just want to stretch our hips, which is nice, especially if we do a lot of sitting all day. But I've also put together in this sequence variations on different lunging postures in yoga so that we explore the range of movement and get some mobility into the joints and get them lubricated and really juicy. We build some strength to support the hips and the pelvis, and then finishing off in the quintessential hip stretch, your pigeon pose. So, see you on the mat. So stepping to the top of your mat, have your feet hip distance, and we're going to start with just a few spinal rolls to warm up the spine and the hips, just getting a little bit juicy. So feet hip distance, knees soft, and then you're going to tuck your chin, roll from the top of your head gets heavier, and you roll down along the spine, softening into the hips and the knees. And at the very bottom, you roll all the way up, squeezing your buttocks to help roll you and press you up. And then again, tucking your chin, knees softening, spine rolling, hips following, knees following, and then rolling all the way up. And we'll add a little bit of a twist, so bring the feet together. And then keeping your knees soft, turning towards your left little toe, tuck your chin, rolling down, and coming all the way up. And from the top you turn to your right, and then you roll to your right little toe, and come all the way up. And with the feet together, one last roll all the way down, and all the way up. And take your hands all the way up, and curling down, fingers towards the floor. Inhale, your eyes forward, your heart forward, stepping your left leg just a short leg distance back, bending into the right foot, right knee, squeezing your butt, and lifting up. Warrior one. Warrior one, a lunge variation with the back heel on the floor and the hips facing directly parallel to the front of the mat. And then press your hands forward, keeping your hips completely still, opening into the front of the left hip. And inhale, right arm up. Exhale, press back. Inhale down and forward. Left arm up. Exhale back, no twisting of the hips. Inhale down and forward. Left arm again, inhale up. And then you're going to straighten the front leg, turn on your toes to the side, and bring your hands together. Bending into the right knee first. Left hand to left foot, right hand presses up. So just some high side lunges. If you like, you can take your feet further apart, bring your hands together, straightening the leg, bending into the left leg, pressing your hands in opposite directions. One more time, each side, hands to heart. Bend, bring your hands together, bending into the left. Bring your hands together, turn on your toes, face the back of your mat. You're in a high lunge, keeping your buttocks engaged so that you feel with as much as you engage your buttocks, you're able to press down more into your feet. And then press your hands forward like we did before. From here, left arm starts, inhale up and back without twisting the hips. Down, forward, right arm up, and back. Inhale down, exhale forward. Now from here, turning your right thigh to plant the right heel, the right arm opens up, warrior two. Straighten the front leg, maybe clapping your hands, and then taking it to a deeper variation of your warrior two. Maybe your legs need to come further apart. Now we're moving on to our triangle. Keep your spine and pelvis as one unit, straighten the front leg and tilting on your hips into your triangle. So it's a real nice compression of the front hip. Keeping your right buttocks firm to open the left hip or the right hip. And now we're going to turn down to the floor. Bring your hands to the mat, lowering your left knee to the floor. Point your left toes straight back. Make sure your left hip is on top of the left knee, your left hand on the floor, and the right heel lines up with everything else. And then making a nice big circle with that hand, reaching the hand forward, and pressing your ribs up towards the sky so you feel a stretch on the outer edge of the right hip. Left buttocks engaged, pressing you down into the shin. Now from here you might like to reach your right hand up, and maybe you take your right leg off the floor without turning the bottom leg. Resist the temptation to turn the bottom leg. The shin's going to want to turn out. Keep it still. And then bring your hands to the floor. Bring your both knees to the mat and lower your bellies to the floor. Hands off the mat, unsupported cobra. And then lower back down. Press up, tuck your toes, down dog. Lift your heels up high, bend your knees down low, butt to heels, and then step to the top. Eyes forward, heart forward. Exhaling, head to knee. Inhale, eyes forward, heart forward, second side. Step your right foot back to that short leg distance, warrior one. Bend the front knee, reaching up, warrior one. Hips square to the new top of the mat. And then pressing your hands out forward. Remember, hips parallel forward. We start with the left arm. Inhale up. Exhale back. Inhale down. Exhale forward. Right arm inhales up. Exhale back. Pushing out through your palms. And then hand comes down. Exhale. Push out through your palms. And again, the right arm lifts up. You're turning on your feet. Bring your hands to your prayer. You might like to take your feet a little bit wider. If your knees or your hips need you to stay up high, you stay up high. Otherwise, you can try exploring a deeper variation, bending into the left leg. You can either keep your hands at your heart or fingers on the floor. So now it's a deeper side lunge. And then we're going to inhale across and exhale into the pose. Inhale to lift and across. Inhale last time and across. And then once more we turn on our feet. Lift up, high lunge. Then bring the hands forward. So in our high lunge, back knee bent, buttocks engaging, hips getting a nice stretch. Starting with the right arm, inhale up and back, down and forward. Left arm up and back, down and forward. Left thigh turns, heel plants, arms up and out, warrior two. And then lift up and bend a little deeper. Make sure that your knee, the front knee doesn't go past the ankle. And keeping your spine and pelvis moving as one. Straighten the front leg, tilt on the hips. So we're all about the hips, so feel it into your hip. Gentle compression, stretching, releasing. Maybe your hand rests on the ankle, but without collapsing. If you're holding on, pull yourself away from the leg so you feel the top side of your waist engage. Then bend the front knee, turning to the floor. Right knee on the mat. Right knee, right hip stacked. Right knee, right big toe lined up. Right hand on the floor. And the left heel lined up with the right knee, right toe. And you can, of course, always stay here. Or sweep your hand down and forward. As you reach forward, press your ribs up. Get that nice bend in the side, bend in the spine, and stretch of the outer hip, maybe even the front hip as well. And then you're lifting your arm up. Maybe lifting your leg. It's kneeling half moon pose. Really good for stabilizing and strengthening those muscles around the hips. And then bring your hands to the floor, knees to the mat. Maybe shuffle yourself back onto the mat, lower down. And lifting up into a cobra, you might be prepared for upward facing dog. And then tucking your chin. And back to down dog. Press your ribs up reach your sit bones towards the back of your heels. And then lifting up. Touch your sit bones to your butt and step forward. Eyes forward, heart forward. Exhaling, head to knee. Keep your right foot where it is. Feet hip distance, slide your left foot back so the big toe lines up with the heel. And lowering down into our staggered squat. And then squeeze your butt, come all the way up. And lower your butt back, reach your hands forward. And come all the way up. Then step forward, bring your hands down. And from here, lifting your hands all the way up. Curling yourself all the way down. Inhale, eyes forward, heart forward. Step your left leg back to a longer position. Your long lunge. Soften the knees, squeeze your butt. Reach up, high lunge. Press your hands out in front. Inhale, right arm up. Press back. Keep the hips forward, stretch to the front of the hip. Inhale down and forward. Left arm up. Back. Down and forward. Opening up to your warrior two. Now keep pressing your hands away. Pressing your left hand to your left foot, your right hand up. And looking toward your back foot. Turn your belly towards the floor. And a big circle with the right hand. Taking you down and forward. Take a firm grip onto the right shin. And reaching your left hand forward. Just like we did in that kneeling position a minute ago. Pressing the ribs up, reaching your hand forward. Side angle pose. Keep the buttocks engaged with deeper compression to that front hip. Stretching and releasing. And then bring your hands to the floor. Walk yourself around to the mat. Turn both toes out. Bend your knees so that your knees point in the same direction as your toes, but the knees stay over your ankles. Now walk your fingers forward. Stretching your fingers forward. Now from here, you might like to try and maybe take your fingers just off the floor. Feel how the core inner power presses from your buttocks down to the feet to hold you in place. And bring the fingers back to the floor. Continue your journey to the back of the mat. Now from here, we're going to move into a lunge with a twist. So have your feet about hip distance apart. You can have the back knee on the floor or lifted. Right hand stays on the mat, and then you peel your left hand up. The left hip needs to pull under you. So it's like you need to lower the hip and bring it in, while the right hip lifts up. Now maybe you stay up on the fingertips, maybe you have a block for your hand, or maybe you can even take the hand off the floor. And then bring both hands down to the mat. Walking your foot out to the side. So left foot to the left edge of your mat. And again, you can have the back knee on the floor or the knee lifted. And then walk your fingers forward. Making yourself as long as possible. So it's a really long lunge. Now from here, you again might like to try taking your hands off just a little. Feel yourself anchor evenly into the front foot as well as the back foot. And then bring your hands back to the mat. Walk your hands in and lower the back knee. Pointing your back toes. Bend the back knee. And maybe you lift onto the left knee. Now without dropping your ribs back, just let yourself lean forward a little bit so the lower back stays nice and long. Engaging into your right buttocks. Feel the front of the right hip open. And maybe you reach back, hold onto your foot or your ankle. Staying here for a few breaths. And gently release. Bring your back foot to the floor and then straighten the front leg, hands either side of the front foot. Head towards your knee. From here, using 3 repetitions to release the back of the leg. Inhale, eyes forward, heart forward. Exhale, head to knee. 2 more, eyes forward, heart forward. Exhaling, head to knee. Last time, eyes forward, heart forward. And exhaling, head to knee. And then stepping back. Hands to the floor, lower down to your bellies. And maybe a cobra, maybe your up dog. And then back to your downward facing dog. So you might notice little by little these down dogs opening in your hips. You've got one repetition of the standing sequence left. So lift your heels up high, touch your butt to your heel, and then walk to the top. Eyes forward, heart forward, head to knee. Soften the knees, rolling up, reaching up, and then bring your hands down. Bring your feet hip distance. Sliding your right big toe back so it lines up with left heel. 2 rounds of the staggered squat. So drop your bum back, hips forward like you're tying shoelaces. Come all the way up. And one more time. And all the way up. Step forward and then curl all the way down. Fingers to floor, head to knee. Eyes forward, heart forward. And then the right leg steps back to your longer lunge. Bend the back knee, squeezing into your buttocks, down into your feet. Hands float up. Press the hands forward. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, back. Inhale, down. Exhale, forward. Right arm up. And back. Down. Forward. Turning the thigh, heel down, arms open. Warrior 2. Keep the hands pressing out. Then press your right hand to the right foot, the left hand presses up. And then turn your belly down towards the floor, looking at the back foot. Big spot, circle with the left arm. Hold the left shin and then reach your right fingers forward. As you hold onto the shin, pull yourself away. Lift your ribs towards the sky. And then turn yourself down towards the floor. And then turning on your feet, walking to the side of your mat. This time, turn your toes slightly in, the heels slightly out. So the second toe is pointing forward. And you can either keep your hands flat on the floor or pistol grip around the big toes. From here, inhale, eyes forward, heart forward, and curling in. Reaching the crown of your head towards the floor. Now trust yourself. Lean a little bit more into the balls of your feet. Have the sensation your knees are trying to bend and straighten at the same time. And after a few breaths here, inhaling, eyes forward, heart forward. Release your big toes and continue the journey to the top of your mat. As I lunge with a twist, you know if you had the back knee down on the first side, doing the same variation you did on the first side, left hand down, and then peeling your right hand up. And in our twist, our hips and shoulders always need to do the opposite of each other. So while the right shoulder peels up, the right hip needs to press down. The left shoulder is moving down, so the left hip needs to move up. And if you did so on the first side, you might like to take the fingertips off the floor. And bring your hands to the mat. Bring your foot all the way out to the edge. And walk your fingers all the way forward. And from here, if you took your fingers off, and bring them down. Walk your hands in, lower the back knee. Now from here, you're leaning forward and bending into the back knee. Maybe you stay here, or you lift up onto your elbows. Maybe you reach back and hold onto the foot. Just noticing if there's any difference between left and right sides. One side might be tighter. And keep leaning forward so you keep the lower back nice and long. And gently releasing. Straightening the front leg, hands either side of the front foot, toes and knees pointing straight up, the leg engaged, head toward your knee. Inhale, eyes forward, heart forward. Exhaling, head to knee. Eyes forward, heart forward. head to knee. Last time. Eyes forward, heart forward. Exhaling, head to knee. And then stepping yourself back, lowering to the floor. Either your cobra, maybe your up dog. And then take it back to your down dog. Now from here, squeezing from your left buttocks to lift the left big toe. And bring the left knee behind your outer left wrist and the shin to the floor. Stretching your right leg back, keep the right toes pointing straight back. Now you can always keep the heel closer to your groin. That'll make it easier on your hips. Or you can bring the shin more forward. That becomes harder. You might also like to have a block. But just notice if by propping yourself up, you lean more towards one side. So it can help sometimes to have a block. Sometimes it's better just to feel into your own body. Keep yourself leaning forward. Make sure your toes are pointing straight back, and now pull your legs together. So you feel the muscle that we're trying to stretch, we're actually engaging to begin with. Now maybe you take your hands off the floor. Keep yourself leaning forward to keep that nice lower back, nice and long. Maybe as you pull your legs together, you can feel yourself lifting up a little. And then you let yourself lower down using control. Maybe your forearms come to the floor. Maybe you're able to bring your belly to the floor. Maybe you stay upright. And then you stay here for a few breaths. And use your hands to walk yourself back up. And then tuck the back toes, lift yourself a little, and push yourself back to downward facing dog. Second side, squeezing from your right buttocks to lift the right big toe. And bring the knee to the right wrist, shin to floor. Looks like I've got a colostomy bag. Just bring that one out there. And again, so you know if you've got the heel, need to have the heel closer or further forward. And to begin with, we engage the muscles we're trying to stretch. So pull the legs together. Strong muscles. Maybe the fingers come off the floor. Keep yourself leaning a little forward. And then as you lift up, feel that maybe take you a little higher. And then using your own muscle to slow the descent, let yourself pour down to the floor. Taking a few breaths here. And again, we're going to use our hands to walk back up. And this time, adjust yourself so you sit onto the right hip. Bend the left leg and then consciously pull the left leg forward. I'm just going to turn myself to face you guys. You will probably be facing forward on the mat. So you've got the left leg straight. You're going to bend the right knee. You'll step the right leg across. Now I highly recommend sitting on a block or sitting on a cushion. So I've got a whole heap of things. For this position, sit on something. So you need to bring that there. Step the foot across. But now that you're sitting on something, you have to really be strong in that bottom leg so the knee doesn't collapse. And sweeping your hands all the way up. Keeping your right knee hugging in, using your own power, bring your hands down, elbows down. And then twisting towards the leg. Maybe wrapping your arm around the leg. The right fingers might rest on the floor, or you might be able to wrap the right arm behind you. And then bring your head back to center, releasing the twist. your right foot moving across. So now we're going to try and line up the right and the left knee. This is half Gomukhasana, half cow face pose. Have your fingers on the floor, and then gently leaning yourself forward, walking your fingers forward, bring your head towards your knee. You can bend that bottom leg a little more if you need to. And again, these gentle repetitions, inhaling, eyes forward, heart forward. And exhaling, head to knee. These repetitions helping to massage the body from the inside. Inhaling, eyes forward, heart forward. Exhaling, head to knee, using the breath as a massage, releasing the outer hip. Inhaling last time. And exhaling, head to knee. And walk yourself all the way up. See if you can do it without the help of your hands. Foot in, foot across, stretch the leg out. And then bend the left leg, step the foot across, keep the knee hugging in using your own power. The foot stays flat on the floor. Sweep your hands all the way up. And bending your elbows. Twisting from your belly towards the leg. Maybe you wrap the arm. Maybe you're able to hook the elbow around. That's also an option. And the left fingers might stay on the floor to help keep you upright, or wrap the arm behind your lower back. I now have a wall in the way. Keeping your straight leg, the right leg engaged, so the knee doesn't collapse. Everything's invited to the party, so don't let anything feel like it's forgotten. Bring your head back to center. Undo your twist. And slide your left foot further across. Fingers on the floor, and you walk yourself forward. Bring your head towards your knee. Again, you can always keep the bottom leg wrapped if you need, or bent if you need. You can even place a cushion underneath the knee to support it. And then inhale, eyes forward, heart forward. Exhaling, head to knee. Eyes forward, heart forward. Head to knee. Last time, eyes forward. Head to knee. And walking yourself back up. And taking the foot across. Crossing your legs, removing any block from behind you. Just sitting with your legs crossed, sweeping your hands all the way up. Bring your hands to your heart. Twist towards your right. Take a big inhale here. As you exhale, reach as far across to the right and as far forward. And come back to the center. Inhaling. And as you exhale, reach. It's like a tug of war between the hips and the hands. Hips pulling you back, hands reaching you forward. And at center, inhale the hands up. Change the cross of your legs. And bring the hands down as you twist towards the left. Inhaling here, and exhale, reaching. Tug of war between the hands and the hips. Inhale through center, and exhale. Pushing exhalation out through your fingers. And at center. Inhale, reach all the way up. And bring your hands down. Now I'm just going to adjust myself back onto the mat. And from wherever you are, holding onto the tops of your feet. And then letting yourself lie down onto the floor in a cross-legged position. Once you're down, let go of your feet. And just feeling how the front of your body is able to release the front of your hips, the front of your belly. Taking a few breaths here, letting your hands, you can either rest them on the belly or rest them on the floor. They just become heavier and heavier. Deep breath in, and after a few breaths, undo your legs and extend them along the floor. Just feeling your hips become really, really heavy, your thighs become really heavy. Noticing any sensations. And then we're going to bend our knees. I'm going to roll onto the side. And then use your hands to continue to roll. And come up to a tabletop position and sit back onto your heels and take a last moment in your child's pose. So you sit on the heels, your belly towards your thighs, and then rest your head on your hands or on a block, or just make sure your head is resting on something. Feeling the breath moved all the way down towards your hips and your lower back. Each breath becoming a massage for the hips and the groin and the lower back, the buttocks. While your head is resting on something, you might like to gently roll your head back and forth from side to side, giving your brain a bit of a massage, clearing out the cobwebs so we can think clearly again. Cultivate a bit of intuition. And then gently release your hands and just walk yourselves all the way back up. Well done. Thank you so much for joining. Namaste.